فَإِن لَمْ تَجِدُوا فِيهَا أَحَدًا. And if you do not find anyone therein, if you go to somebody's house, you knock at the door. And what was the rule? Maximum 3 times. You go to your sister's room, your brother's room, your mother's room, the door is closed, you knock 3 times. But what happens? فَإِن لَمْ تَجِدُوا فِيهَا أَحَدًا. You do not find anyone therein. Meaning you knock, you ask permission, but there is no response. Then what should you do? Open the door and see if everything's okay? That's what you should do? No. Allah says, فَلَا تَدْخُلُوهَا. Then do not enter it. حَتَّى Until يُؤْذَنَ لَكُمْ, it is given permission to you. Until you are allowed, do not enter. No matter how long it takes for you to wait over there. وَإِنْ قِيلَ لَكُمْ, and if it is said to you, ارْجِعُوا, go back. فَارْجِعُوا, then go back. Let's say you knock at the door, you say, may I come in? And the person replies, no, I'm busy right now, please come after 10 minutes. Don't mind at that time. She's sending me back? How dare she? That's so hurtful. No. If they say, you have to wait, if they say, go back, we're busy, then what does Allah say? فَارْجِعُوا, then go back. Don't insist. Or don't just enter. Or don't just sit at the door, making it difficult and embarrassing for those people to make sure that they should allow you to enter. Why should you go back? Because huwa azka lakum. That is purer for you. That is better for you. Better for what? Your relationships. It is purer in conduct. In it is more honor for you. Because zakat does not just mean purity, but it also means growth. It will grow you in character. It will grow you in honor. It is in your favor. Because just imagine if you force that, I'm coming in, and you just walk in like that, it's possible that you see the person in a state that you might become very uncomfortable seeing them in that state. Similarly, you just say that, no, I'm going to come in, and you come in and they have guests over already. And they cannot entertain you. Or they're busy doing something else. They cannot entertain you. So is that going to lead to a healthier relationship, or is it going to affect your relationship? It's going to affect it. وَاللَّهُ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ عَلِيمٌ, and Allah is knowing of whatever you do. This is a warning. Because it's possible that the other person has no idea you came in and you left without their permission. It's possible that you knock on the door, nobody responds, and you open the door, and you do whatever you have to, and you go back. And the person whose room it is, they'll never find out you came. And if they do find out, they'll get very upset. What does Allah say? وَاللَّهُ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ عَلِيمٌ. He is knowing of whatever you do. Whether you enter somebody's house with permission or without permission, whether you peep into somebody's house, you're looking into somebody's house without permission, Allah knows all of that. Nothing hidden is hidden from Him. It is reported in the Sahih that when Abu Musa, he asked Umar radiallahu anhu 3 times for permission to enter, Umar radiallahu anhu did not give him permission. So Abu Musa, he went away. Then Umar radiallahu anhu said, did I not hear the voice of Abdullah ibn Qais asking for permission to enter? Let him come in. So the people who were with Umar radiallahu anhu, they went to look for Abu Musa, and they could not find him because he had gone. Later when Abu Musa came, Umar radiallahu anhu asked him, why did you go away? He said, I asked for permission to enter 3 times. And permission was not given to me. And I heard the Prophet ﷺ say that إِذَا اسْتَأْذَنَ أَحَدُكُمْ ثَلَاثًا فَلَمْ يُؤْذَنْ لَهُ فَلْيَنْصَرِفْ. That if any one of you asks for permission 3 times and he's not given the permission, then let him go away. Umar radiallahu anhu said, you should certainly bring me evidence for this, or I shall beat you. Evidence for what? That the Prophet ﷺ said that. And Umar radiallahu anhu was very, very strict. Why? So that people could not just fabricate statements and ascribe them to the Prophet ﷺ. So Abu Musa, he went to a group of the Ansar and he told them what Umar radiallahu anhu said. And they said, no one will give testimony for you but the youngest of us. So Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, so he went with him and he told Umar about that. And Umar radiallahu anhu said, what kept me from learning that was my being busy in the marketplace. That I'm surprised you know about that and I don't know about that. It's because I was busy in the marketplace. And you were with the Prophet ﷺ learning from him. So what do we see in this ayah? That when you ask permission to enter, when you knock at the door, and there is no answer, then what should you do? Go back. Or if the answer is, no, we cannot take you in right now, then what should your response be? Go back. You should not force the other person to let you in. If someone does not open the door, don't get upset. If somebody says, go back, I cannot entertain you right now, don't force them. Because if you force your way in, it would create rifts in the relationship. We'll listen to the recitation of these ayat and then we'll continue the lesson.
Yeah.
لَيْسَ عَلَيْكُمْ جُنَاحٌ. There is no blame upon you. أَن تَدْخُلُوا بُيُوتًا, that you enter houses. Which houses? غَيْرَ مَسْكُونَةٍ, that are not inhabited. Maskuna from the root letters? Sin, kaf, noon. Sakana. What does sakana mean? To dwell, to live somewhere. So, maskuna is one in which people live, one that is inhabited. So there's no blame on you if you enter a place that is uninhabited. Meaning it's not somebody's private residence. It's a place such as a restaurant, or a hotel, or an institute, a hospital, a community center, a school. These are what? Public places. They're not somebody's private residence. So there is no blame on you if you enter these places without permission. Like for example, you come to Al-Huda in the morning. Should you be standing at the door knocking? And the receptionist should come every time and open the door and say, yes, you're allowed to come in, since you're a student over here? No. If that was the rule, then life would be very, very difficult. So a public place, which is not somebody's private residence, there's no blame on a person if he enters that place without any permission. But when should he enter? When should he go to such a place? فِيهَا مَتَاعٌ لَكُمْ. In it is some benefit for you. Meaning, you have some purpose over there. You have some reason to go there. You have some reason to be there. You can't just say, oh, it's a public place, you don't need permission, so okay, let's just see what's going on over there. Like for example, there are classes going on at this institute. A person walks in and says, let's just see what's going on. And they enter from one place and go into the other and walk around the entire institute just to see what's going on. Is that appropriate? No. Because even if you enter into a public place like this without any reason, then other people might get concerned. So, فِيهَا مَتَاعٌ لَكُمْ. In it is some benefit for you. You have a purpose. You have some reason to be there. Similarly, when a person goes to a public place, such as an institute, such as a school, he should come at a time and he should leave at a time that is reasonable. Not that he's there until late at night, and the people who are to take care of that place, they're getting concerned, what do we do with this person? He's not going home. Only when they go home, then I can go home. So, فِيهَا مَتَاعٌ لَكُمْ. وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ, and Allah knows, مَا تُبْدُونَ, whatever you reveal, وَمَا تَكْتُمُونَ, and whatever you conceal. Meaning whatever you do openly, and whatever you do privately. Allah knows very well about that. So we see in this ayat that permission is not needed to enter a public place. It's not needed in order to enter a place where any person can come in. There's some benefit for people. Because if permission was needed, then life would become very difficult. However, remember that if something appears to be a public place, however, within that place are also private areas. Like for example, there's an office. Are you allowed to just enter that office saying that nobody lives here? Is it somebody's bedroom? No, it's not somebody's bedroom, therefore I can enter here. You understand? No. Although it is a public place, but within that public place could be private areas. And we're not allowed to enter those private areas without permission. So for example, you go to a school. There's a door and it says no entry. What should you do? Open the door and see what's inside? Let me just see why it says no entry. Should you do that? No. If it says no entry, it means no entry. It means you cannot open the door, you cannot peek in through the window and see who's inside, what are they doing, what's going on. Similarly, if it's the kitchen of a place, like for example over here in the cafeteria, we have an area where everybody can sit, but within that area is a private area where only concerned people are allowed to go. So can you just walk into the kitchen? No, you cannot. You cannot do that. Similarly, there's a storeroom. Can you just walk in? No, you cannot walk in. It's a public area, however, it's a private area, it's a restricted area within a public area, and we are not allowed to enter such places without permission. And when we go to public places, what do we have to do? We have to abide by the rules and regulations of that place. For example, if you go to a bank, then what do you have to do? Follow the rules over there. If you go to an office, if you go to any place, and let's say it says outside, do not walk on the grass. Are you going to say, no, it's public property, I can walk on the grass, who are you to tell me? No, you cannot do that. If the rule has been made, you're not allowed to walk on the grass, you cannot walk on the grass. You're not allowed to do that. You have to respect the rules and regulations. You have to observe them. Similarly, if within the institute, let's say in the cafeteria, it is said that you are supposed to throw your garbage into the garbage cans yourself, you have to do that yourself. You cannot leave it for somebody else to take care of. So, public places, yes, we are allowed to enter, but we have to follow the rules. We have to observe the rules and regulations. And within the public places, if there are restricted areas, we're not allowed to enter them. So to summarize the laws, the commands that we have learned today, we see that there are three types of places. One is your own private house. The other is somebody else's private residence. And the third is a public place. And in order to enter each one of them, there are different rules. What are they? When you're entering your own house, make your presence known. Don't frighten the people inside. When you're entering somebody else's house, do not enter except with permission. When you enter into a public place, you do not need permission, however, you need to observe the rules. Now, let's say you go to somebody's office. What are you going to do, practically speaking? You want to see the person who's sitting inside. What are you going to do? Knock at the door. How will you knock? Gently. You're not going to bang on the door. And if there's no response, what are you going to do? Leave. If there's no response, after knocking 3 times. After asking permission 3 times. And if somebody opens the door and they say that no, they're busy, should you insist that no, I just have to speak for 1 minute, please, just 1 minute? Should you do that? No. If they have said, I'm busy, they're busy. Similarly, if you're calling someone, how many times should you call them? 3 times. Not more than that, at a time. In the morning, you call them 3 times, no response. Okay, now when should you call? Perhaps in the evening. Why? Because if you keep knocking, if you keep calling, if you keep insisting that you want to come in, you're going to disturb other people. You're going to invade into their privacy. And invading into other people's privacy is not permissible. It is not permissible. Similarly, if you're just curious, how does this person study? How does this person work? What is their desk like? What are you going to do? Curb the thought. You can't just go up to the door and peek in, or peek in through the window and see, oh, what's going on inside? You cannot do that. This is not permissible. Unfortunately, we have forgotten these rules to such an extent that people have to shut themselves in order to get some privacy. You have to have the blinds, and you have to have the curtains, and you have to have the doors, and the doors have to be locked. And the lock has to be such that nobody has that key. So many restrictions people have to put in just to get some privacy. This is not the right way. We have to consider that other people also have a life. They need their privacy. And we are no ones to invade that privacy. Just as we wouldn't like other people barging into our privacy, we're not allowed to barge into other people's privacy. Similarly, if it's somebody's phone, if it's somebody's computer, don't go through it. Don't go through it. If it's somebody's notebook, don't open it and start reading it. You can't do that. If somebody is sending a text message, don't see what they're typing. Don't do that. This is not right. If somebody has a note with them, don't open it up and see what's written in the note. You cannot do that. It's other people's privacy. So we see that the houses of people, the places where they live, the things that they possess, what are they? What are they? Their own things. It's their private life. And we are not allowed to invade. We see that Umar radiallahu anhu, what did he say about the surah? Teach your women Surah An-Nur. Why? Because who will teach children these rules? Women. But unfortunately, we women are so curious that we want to know what's going on in other people's lives. We invade other people's privacy. So how can we teach children? We have to observe these rules ourselves. And our children will learn automatically. So in these ayat, we learned about the laws related to isti'dhan. And the purpose of this command is to establish a peaceful environment at home, to maintain good ties between people, and also to close the doors that lead to fawahish. Close the doors that lead to fawahish. Because if you go into somebody's house without permission, and there's a man sitting over there, non-mahram, or a man enters into somebody's house, and there's a girl sitting over there without hijab, and he thinks that she's quite good looking, could that lead to fawahish? Of course it could. So this is why these rules are there, that accidents don't happen. You understand? The accidents where somebody comes in and sees a non-mahram not dressed properly, this is not correct. And we see that this rule is so important that when the Prophet ﷺ, when he went for Mi'raj, when he went for the journey to the heavens, we learned that when the Prophet ﷺ and Jibreel, they arrived at the first heaven, Jibreel requested the gate to be opened. And the angel that was assigned to that gate, he asked Jibreel, who is with you? And Jibreel answered, it is Muhammad ﷺ. So the angel asked, was he dispatched, meaning was he sent for? Is it time for him to ascend to the heaven? Jibreel said yes. So then the gate was opened for him. So imagine, this is so important, this rule, that it's even applied at the heavens. And when the Prophet ﷺ was being made to ascend over there, even then permission had to be taken. So how can we think that we are so special and we don't need to take permission and just walk into other people's rooms and walk into other people's houses? It's okay. She's my friend. She's younger than me. She won't mind. No, she has a life. He has a life. They have a private life. Respect that. Take permission before entering. Okay, we'll listen to the recitation of the ayah and then we'll conclude. Look at the beauty of our religion. You know, I was wondering, these ayat were revealed because a woman requested that she should have freedom inside her house. That a woman should be allowed to do what she wants inside the house, the way she wants to dress up inside the house. A person should be allowed to relax. And for that purpose, these commands are given. And these days, if a request such as this is made, we think that this is unrealistic and this is the Western culture and people are demanding unnecessary things. No. Every woman has a right to her own privacy, where she can relax, where she can dress up, and she's not concerned that, a man would come in or she would have to cover immediately, and the hair that she made and spending so much time, it's going to get ruined because she's going to have to put on the hijab quickly. Why wear jewelry inside the house when you have to wear the hijab? Why wear makeup when you have to cover yourself? So it makes life difficult for women. And there are some things that women are naturally inclined to do, and our religion respects that. So women are given freedom inside the house, and we should respect that. The thing is that these rules primarily are, as I mentioned, for a son when he's entering into his mother's house, right? Now, when a mother has to go and see what her children are doing, like for example, she has to make sure that my children are not watching something wrong, are not doing something wrong on the computer. She has the right to do that. Because remember that, Anta wa maluka li abika. You and your property, your wealth, you belong to who? Your parents. So parents should not have this fear that I have to take permission from my son, from my daughter before entering into her room, before checking what she's doing. No. I remember as parents, my mom, she would open our bag in front of us. We'd come back from school and she would unzip our bag in front of us and take out the books and see them and open our pencil cases and see. No fear, nothing. And then you also develop this trust where children don't hide things from their parents. We think that, children, they also have their privacy. Yes, they do. But don't check their things behind their back. Don't do that. Check their things in front of them. Now, obviously, when a daughter has become an adult, she's grown up, the father should not just walk in like that. Similarly, if the son is married The mother should not just come in and make sure he's not doing anything wrong. No. He's married. He has his private life now. Give him his space. Once children are young, then you're obligated to look after them. And there's no privacy then between the parents and the children. Now that you have learned about these commands, when you're sharing with other people, don't just say, oh, by the way, I should have my own house now. No. Do it in a respectful way. Do it with wisdom. Do it with gentleness. And just remind yourself, this is temporary. Because it's possible that the man is also in a situation where he cannot do much. And just remind yourself, this is temporary. However, come to an agreement as well where you get your space, you get your freedom as well, and other people also get theirs. Let's listen to the recitation. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.